No, you're road tripping. I think it's funny to have your stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
I love it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What the Truck. We're here with Andrew Peterson, F100 Performance, ATP. What up, dude? What the truck?
I know, right?
You're here.
I am.
You made it.
All the way.
Dude, how far did you drive this thing?
Right now I got 2,600 miles on it. Just over 20.
And when did you finish it?
What's that?
When did you finish?
Oh, on Monday? Well, technically on Tuesday I finished it.
So, 5 days ago?
Yeah. I first had it running on Monday. And nothing was like really together on it, but I just want to make sure it ran and all the stuff worked. And I had a bunch of problems with it, and it just was kind of at the point where I was like, well, do I keep waiting and like try and fix this up and make the trip, or just hurry up and get out there with a different car?
Oh yeah. So let's back up a little bit and tell them, what is this truck from start to finish, except for it's obviously a 1964 F100.
Right, this is my 1964 F100. A lot of people know it as the ATP F100. Its official name, which is kind of a new thing, is the Red Onion.
The Red Onion?
Yeah, I met the...
You peeled all the layers back, huh?
Right. But it actually was named by the original owner.
No kidding.
That way, yeah. So he passed away, and then the son of the original owner actually passed away as well. But the wife of the second owner, the son, I got it from her, and that was back in 2011. I built the truck once. It was on the road for many miles. It had a lot of towing miles, a lot of road trip miles, things like that. You know, but I decided to rebuild it last year. I actually had a problem with it, and then I just got tired of it. There were so many unfinished things I just didn't like, and so I decided to rebuild it. And so this is kind of the second edition.
So, I mean, I'm confused though, because most people, when they want to rebuild their truck, they don't start with like making it run and drive. They start with like making it shiny first.
Oh, it is shiny. You want to see under the hood?
Sure. But I mean, the outside, like, why wouldn't you paint this thing?
Well,
are you gonna paint it?
No, I'm not gonna.
What? I mean, it's. Oh boy.
This is the closest paint.
It is shiny. Look at that.
It's shiny.
Wow.
It's shiny. It's smooth. Yeah.
So you could do body work and you could paint.
Yeah.
So what's the reasoning for not doing it? Tell us, because we know you have a really good opinion on it.
Well, for me, everything is about I want to use it. So obviously, I drove it 2,600 miles across the country. And after just like it had 0 miles on it when I got on the road.
And for the people looking at it that don't know what they're looking at, tell them.
This is a turbocharged small block. And
what's the displacement?
Well, come on, I can't give away
you
all
can't.
my...
You're a race driver.
No, I'll tell you
You're
what,
a race car driver.
It's more than 302 cubic inches.
You're a race car driver. Only race car drivers don't want to say these things. I did not know this.
Yeah.
So when are we going to see some racing?
You know,
coming soon?
Yeah, probably not. I don't know. We'll see.
So,
well, you know, burnouts.
So what all did you do on it? Because you've got all kinds of goodies. I could see Willwood stuff, MSD stuff. Yeah. Obviously, you got some Vibrant. I mean, what? Tell me the setup.
Well, basically, it used to have a mod motor in it. A turbocharged mod motor, the 2-valve, and I just wanted to change it up. So ripped all that out, and actually I redid a bunch of the suspension stuff I did. It's got all of my parts on it, obviously. I developed a big brake kit for it. This is my new 15-inch big brake kit that's on the front. It's got a Crown Vic 8.8 in the back, which is always what it had, and a 3-link that I built a long time ago. But I developed a 14-inch Crown Vic diff big brake kit.
Really?
Yeah. So there's actually a bunch of parts that I developed.
So this was more of an R&D vehicle.
Yeah, and it was part that and part I want to rebuild it. So you know, it kind of molded the two together.
Dude, I didn't even realize that you had to cut out for your K&N filter.
Yeah, no, it's all you know, the inner fender has been kind of redone so that things fit a little bit better. Same with the turbo. Over here on the turbo side,
I love that.
It's been cut out.
This is so neat.
So,
dude,
it's quite a few things.
I mean, this is so cool.
I'm big on like subtle stuff, you know, and I
didn't even realize that you had the boom stick.
Yeah, so that boom tube there, I put that on there in 2012 when I was building the truck. This is way before, like you could buy them on eBay for like $100 back then. Nobody was doing it. So it's one of my favorite things about the truck, but the thing that bothers me is that it's gotten so popular. So part of me wanted to rip it off and do something different. But
maybe you set the trend and nobody gives you credit for it.
So the wheels I originally had on this were FR500s. And obviously I changed it, they're different wheels now. But you know, I put the FR500s on there before people were starting to do that too.
Yeah.
So This truck's been around for a long time. But
I see that you have some DEI cooling. Was cooling a big factor? And tell me about the cooling on this. 'Cause a lot of people always ask me about the cooling for Gold Dust.
Yeah, so I just went through and I actually have some heat shield product stuff on here too, but the turbo blanket's DEI, but I redid all the cooling system, I redid the fuel system, I redid everything, and I didn't know how it was going to go. I just overdid everything as much as I could. And so when I hopped on the road, I was like, well, hopefully everything is, overbuilt, and it definitely was. So, and all the stuff that I did do with, heat shield stuff and whatnot, a lot of it's more of like abrasion resistance, type of thing. So I'm trying to do, where I can make sure that if anything that might rub or do anything weird, I'm not going to have any issues.
One of the things that I was paying attention to a lot while you were building this was all your mil-spec wiring. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So, you can see there on the bulkhead, I have some mil-spec,
3 connectors.
Right, yeah. And before I really got into the parts thing, a lot of what I did was custom wiring and tuning and stuff.
Really?
That's why my business was called Andrew's Tuning and Performance.
Gotcha.
I mean, it still is. A lot of people know me as Andrew's Tuning and Performance.
I didn't know that you were a wiring guy, though.
Yeah, I was a big-time wiring guy, and I've done a lot of wiring and a lot of custom wiring, a lot of mil-spec stuff. So I kind of wanted to do that on this truck. Before, it was all just kind of like pieced together. It didn't look bad, but it wasn't like great. And so I decided that when I redid this, one of the things I really wanted to do is I wanted to do a wiring setup like I knew I could do. So that was part of what I wanted to do on this.
So what did you do, like as far as the wiring goes? Like, is it a company or it's like just full blown? You had to build everything yourself.
No, I built everything. Yeah,
from scratch.
Full scratch. Yeah.
So you just ordered raw connections. You had all the wire, literally just wire, and
right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, everything is completely from scratch. I did use some Leash Electronics boxes, so I used some of their relay. They have these little relay boxes.
I know really nothing about that stuff. That's why I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, and so I used their. They have one of their Pro Street. Yeah,
I love that.
I used one of their Pro Street boxes for like the lights and things like that, turn signals and whatnot. But other than that, it's all scratch built stuff. So I built every part. It took me about 2 weeks to do the wiring on this.
So now that we're over by the inside, tell me a little about it. I mean, it's beautiful. That bench seat's gorgeous, and it's so subtle. Like you only have pretty much the bench seat and that beautiful dash.
Yeah. Well, so with the bench seat, I actually did this seat a long time ago. It's kind of a the seat back is actually from an International, and then the seat bottom is from a like a Denside truck.
Nice.
And I kind of molded the two together, and then I have a guy back in Chico, California. He's done a bunch of interior stuff for me, and I had this idea where I wanted the seat to look like an old leather chair, but I didn't want leather because I wanted something that was a lot more durable, less maintenance, things like that. So we found this vinyl, and it really looks kind of like an old leather chair. Yeah, I mean, that is Grandma's couch. Yeah. If it was a little bigger at her house. Yep. And so I, kind of did a little bit more of a classic, type of layout of it, and and then you put the, the nice stitching and a couple seams in it and stuff, just to kind of give it a little bit of, a little bit of flair, but nothing
Not
crazy.
too much.
So, and the main thing was that it's nice and comfortable. So, and then I took the rails off of it and I made some mounts to put it as low and as far back as I could. And then what a lot of people do notice actually.
Do you not have air conditioning?
No, it has air conditioning. It's just not fully done yet.
Oh, I'm looking. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm like, what? He just drove all the way over here with no AC?
Well, it does. Yeah. Currently, it's not hooked up. That is like one of the things I didn't do.
Man.
It actually wasn't that bad though.
Really?
No.
Huh.
So, but yeah, it's
flashing me back to Power Tour when it was that bad.
Oh yeah, I know. You guys sweated like crazy. But so it does have AC. I just need to finish. And
okay, because that's how I was looking. I'm like, I see the AC box. I'm like, where did he hide the vents?
Right. Well, actually, I am going to be making a new vent setup, I think, and I may offer it for sale at some point because I've just never liked any of the aftermarket vents.
I've seen a lot of people do cool things to them, but nobody offers it.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of thinking about it because I may make a new, just a single center vent that kind of molds. And then has fins on it. And I don't know. I've got a few ideas, but
it's what you do, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I take different ideas I have for my own trucks and then try and turn them into things that I can help other people with. So.
You inspired me to do the same thing, and it's awesome because we have so many friends and everybody's so innovative, and we just keep making better parts so we could have fun with our trucks, and then we all just get to work with each other and drive our trucks and do exactly what we're doing. All right, so we have all this, I mean, your bed. Obviously, you're loaded down with parts. You had a 2,600 mile trip here, so does that mean you got a 2,600 mile trip home?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty close to that. I'm taking a little bit different route. I'm headed with my buddy Reed. We're gonna go back to Kansas.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be picking up a car trailer and another truck.
Are you now?
Yeah. And so I'm gonna be, you know, a lot of people know this truck as a truck that does a lot of towing.
Yeah.
You know, I've towed a lot of things with this.
Where's your hitch though?
Now, so it goes behind the receiver holds the license plate, and then I take the license plate out and put the...
That's how me and Simi did it on Black Sheep.
Yeah.
We should show them though, because a lot of people probably never seen this before, and it's a really cool trick.
I mean, it works good.
I always thought it was the coolest trick. And then what we did for when we tow, we made a little piece that like goes here, and then...
Yeah, I haven't done that. In fact,
it was super easy to do.
Yeah, I got pulled over one time because the guy couldn't find a license plate. And I was like, oh, it's because it's in the bed of my truck. So,
I love the roll pan too.
Yeah, this actually, so it's a funny story about the roll pan. The roll pan is actually the bedside of the original bed of this truck.
What?
Yeah, so the truck.
Wait, this isn't the original bed of this truck?
The original bed. And I would have kept the original bed except for it had this massively caved in area right behind the driver's door.
This isn't faux patina, you just found another bed.
It was crazy. So this is back in 2011, right?
Okay.
I buy the truck, and then within a matter of a week or so, I was looking around for a bed that matched. And I found this guy that had this 65, and it had the cab, it had the chassis, it had the bed, but he had like started parting everything out. It was the same original Rangoon red and the whole deal. And I hit him up, I said, hey, do you want to sell just the bed? Original short bed, the whole deal, right? Same, I mean, it looked exactly the same.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, sure, I'll sell it to you for 150 bucks.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
cool.
the good old days, 2011
right,
you said.
2011.
Oh, baby.
And so I'm like, sweet, that sounds like a good deal. And so I roll down there, and we show up, and the guy says, hey, tell you what, I got this whole thing in an area that I can't really keep it very long. He goes, you can take the bed for 150 bucks, or you can take the whole thing for 150 bucks. I was like,
just get it out of here.
Yeah. So I took the whole thing, and actually this chassis is that 65 chassis.
Oh, so that way you're able to build this chassis, but keep your truck alive.
That's right. So I drove this 64 in stock form for about 2 years while I built the chassis originally in 2011, and then in about 2014 is when I got everything married together, and then everything got swapped over. So, but here just recently, this truck bed had the trim on the side, so it had the trim holes. So just a couple months ago, we filled all the trim holes and then just kind of blended everything back in.
You did a great job.
So that was always something that kind of bothered me about it. But you know, I left all the you know, the dents and stuff of this original truck bed, and just kind of made everything look, you know, kind of the same. But I mean, ultimately, you know, people have put paint on it and primer and, you know, done stuff over the years.
It's a truck.
Right.
Nobody ever thought that these were going to even be around now.
Right.
When this thing was in 64, who thought it would still be here in 23?
Nobody. In fact, when I talked to the lady that I bought this from, so she called me like 6 months ago. So this is like, I mean, we're talking like 12 years later after she sold it.
Yeah.
And she called me up and she goes, hey, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I sold you a red 64 F100, you know, a long time ago. And I said, well, actually, I remember exactly who you are, because this
I still have it.
Yeah, I still have it. And this truck has like created a business for me, basically. I mean, I basically built a business out of this truck. And she was like, no way. And so she started telling me the story about the original owner. And he immigrated from Italy and then moved to the West Coast from the East Coast and bought this truck brand new in San Jose, and then started his landscaping business.
Really?
Yeah, and his entire business,
Italian landscaper,
yep,
immigrant.
Yep, and his entire business was built around this truck.
Wow.
And
so it's the second time that this truck built a business.
Right. And so when I talked to her, I said, you know, I have like fully rebuilt this truck. Like, it is completely different. I said, but you know, one of the really cool things about this truck, and honestly, like, it was one of the, it just hit me all of a sudden when I was talking to her of why I love the patina so much, because I said, I've redone everything on this truck except for everything that you probably remember about this truck, which is the outside.
Right.
When you see everything on the outside, you'll know that it's the exact same truck. even though everything else on the inside of it is completely different. She'll have all these memories of everything that.
Has she seen it?
Not yet. So I mean, I just got it running.
Right,
and obviously left immediately. So the plan is to I'm gonna get a hold of her again here in the next couple of weeks, and then I think we'll probably try to do a YouTube video or something like that on it. I think it'd be really cool.
You guys, the link's in the description below. You guys got to go over to, it's under F100 Performance, right?
No, it's actually under Performance Productions.
Performance Productions, guys.
As a YouTube.
Yeah, make sure to check it out. I mean, you got all kinds of stuff. Because I watch, like, my favorite thing you're working on right now is your Tesla swap truck.
Yeah.
And are we going to see some more of that anytime soon?
We will, yeah. Now, I been a little bit busy with it.
Yeah,
but,
obviously.
I mean, this obviously has been a busy thing for me. But now that this thing's done, I am going to get back on the Tesla swap truck. And that one, the cool thing about that one is, if I would have just built that truck, it would have been done by now.
Right.
But the whole thing, when I started building it, I thought I was only going to get negative feedback.
Yeah.
And
it's the opposite.
Right.
Everybody's like, can you sell it to me already?
Right. There's some negative feedback that you get. I mean, no matter what.
Of course.
But I've had so many people that were like, can you build me one? Or, like, hey, how much does this cost? Like, is this, just trying to find out information about how to do an electric swap truck.
Right.
And so the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? I think I need to try and develop some parts related to this. So that's what's kind of taken me so long. I've been in the development stage of like trying to figure out. Yeah, you have to, instead of just building one-off stuff, you got to figure out, okay, well, how do I do this to make it work? And then also, can I manufacture it after I make it work anyway? So there's just a level of there's a lot more time that goes into it. So that's where a lot of it has come in, where it's taken a lot longer. But I am going to get back on that. It's going to be the next thing, and really the goal is to drive this thing back out next year and tow the Tesla truck out. Oh, dude, that'd be so badass. I'm hoping to bring the Tesla truck out here to this show. Because that is the main downside of the Tesla truck is range. Yeah. Like no matter how awesome everything is, you still can't go that far. Well, and I mean that's where, I mean, for me, I can appreciate any kind of swap. I don't care what it is. I mean, I got a buddy of mine who's doing a 2JZ swap, and we've done lots of LS swaps. I've got an idea for a Coyote swap I want to do. I mean, I like them all. I agree. But I think that's like the best commuter. Right. And that's the thing, is they all have their place. Right. And the idea of the electric swap is that, man, it would be a lot of fun to do an autocross electric swap deal, because I think it would be extremely fast. I think it would be really fast. Yeah. And so that's where some of the idea came in. But then the more we got into it, the more I'm like, this would be a great commuter car. And like we were chatting, like for me, one day I'm definitely gonna have something like that, because for a daily driver, like from the shop to the house, like it's quiet. If you want to leave early, you don't gotta wake the kids up. Like I can't leave my house early in Gold Dust, ever. Everybody in the neighborhood wakes up. Right. Yep. And it's cheap too. You get something set up on your house or your shop or something to charge it, and you just don't have to worry about it. Right. So it's super cheap. It's they're really reliable. There's no maintenance. I mean, they're selling a ton of them, so they're keeping to wreck them, so we can keep buying the parts. Yep. It's awesome. Well, I think you probably got to hit the road. You got a long drive. I do. Yeah. So let everybody know where they could go to check you out. Well, we could go. Obviously, my website was where I sell all my parts, and that's at F100performance.com. Basically, everything I got on this thing, from the big brakes, the electric steering, coilover kits, I mean, gas tank, you name it. I got all kinds of stuff for these trucks to modernize them and make them reliable. But then on Instagram, you can go to F100 Performance, or F100_Performance is my Instagram. And I'm also on Facebook quite a bit, but I normally just post as Andrew Peterson. I don't use my Facebook professional side. Yeah, it just shares from Instagram. But. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then obviously Performance Productions is our YouTube. Heck yeah. We're hoping to have some more YouTube videos here pretty soon. We've had a lot of people that have like, hey, what happened to the YouTube videos? Because it's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. Yep. So you guys, if you don't appreciate when you watch a YouTube video, you should, because it's a lot of hard work. So make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know, what do you think about this truck? And dude, safe travels. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me know when you get home. All right, for sure.